I'm at my parents' house this weekend because Austin is hunting and walking Olive, and it's so nice out here, and the leaves are starting to change, and it's really beautiful, and I wanted to show you what that looked like. I'm snacking. I love snacks, of course. I feel like the leaves are changing like maybe a little bit faster this year. Maybe that's just me. Although I will say, and I'm not the only one who said this, that it seems like it's got colder faster. So it's really nice today, like right now when I'm filming this after lunch, it's not super cold. But kind of at the end of September, it kind of turned off cooler, and that was kind of it. It's not warmed back up again. A lot of the times we'll have a spell where it gets pretty warm again and kind of goes back and forth. And like I said, it's fairly warm right now, but it's not that super oppressive heat of the summer. That is gone, and it pretty much has been since the end of September. I've been working on pumpkins today, just trying to finish those up and get done with them so I can list them on Etsy. Been watching Matlock. Been watching that with Dad. I love to watch Matlock. That is always super fun. And then Dad has split a ton of wood. He was doing that yesterday. Look at all that wood that he split. Nick actually split a little bit of this, which was really nice. But he has split a ton of this, and we've got it all stacked. So he's pretty tired today. He has been resting, but that pile is significantly smaller than it was just a day ago. Olive likes to investigate, although usually I do not let her come over here because this is a great place for snakes, especially on a sunny day like this. I also see a lot of yellow jackets, so I think it's time to vacate. I like seeing all the wood stacked like that because I know that's going to make a lot of cozy fires this winter in the wood stove. I've mentioned before that Austin and I have a fireplace, but we would like to maybe eventually get a wood stove insert. But regardless, we have like no wood, so we're going to have to probably call. We have a friend who brings wood sometimes to Mom and Dad's, although I don't know this year if they'll need it or not because they've got a lot, but maybe me and Austin can call and get some brought to us. This, of course, is going to be my first fall as a married woman. It's kind of funny when you get married, I guess. You feel kind of like you have a lot of firsts, even though you've been through a lot of falls before. This kind of feels like it'll be new, just different seasons, because I get to spend them and share them with Austin, which is really sweet. There's been a lot of acorns falling early this year here at Mom and Dad's. Me and Austin have a little, like where I park my car, but not as much as them. They've just been falling like crazy. Acorns are so pretty. Fun fact, I had an acorn that I had for years, and I think I still have it somewhere, and I named him Wilson from like the Castaway movie where he had the ball that was named Wilson, and I had that thing forever, like from the time I was in the 4th grade. And then my little cousin, she didn't want Wilson to be lonely, so she gave me an acorn and named it Judy. And I still have those, and I've had them since I was like probably 8 years old. So it'll be interesting to see the different traditions around fall, especially as we get on up towards Thanksgiving and Christmas. The different traditions that Austin has and that I have, and how we kind of meld them together. I'm looking forward to that. Like for Halloween coming up, of course I haven't trick-or-treated in years since I was a little kid, and Austin hasn't either. But in the last several years for Halloween, I like to watch old Halloween movies, not the super scary ones, more like the hokey ones for kids, if I'm being honest about that. I like to get some candy, but usually I don't really get like a lot of candy. And just hang out. Usually like me and Katie will do that. There's another thing about fall that I have discovered that I love. So if you've been on the channel before, I don't know if I've talked about this, but there's a certain kind of candy called Cocoa Mel's, and I will put a link in the description so you can find exactly what I'm talking about. And it's basically made out of coconut milk. So if you don't like coconut, you're not going to like this, but I love coconut. And last year I discovered they had a pumpkin spice type of candy, and I had never seen it before. I don't remember who got it for me or if I found it somewhere, and then it said limited edition. So I really didn't think to look for it anymore until fall was kind of over, and then it was really limited. I mean, you could not find it anywhere. I was like, wow, they literally just removed every pumpkin spice Cocoa Mel off the face of the earth until next year. So the other day I was with Katie and I was actually giving her some cocoa melons that I hadn't been eating because she likes them too. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I bet I could look for the pumpkin spice ones again. And I found them, and they only sold them by a pound. That's what I found on Amazon, which is kind of ridiculous, but I did buy a pound of them. And I will say they're somewhat expensive as far as candy goes, but they're good kind of for what they are, because like they're like healthy candy, you know. It's not a lot of sugar, and it's coconut milk, so I guess it's like dairy free. Some of the cocoa melons are sugar free because they use like stevia or something besides the table sugar, but those are super good. I do love pumpkin stuff, and it does seem like there's a lot of that in the fall, which is really nice. Katie bought me some little pumpkins at the, well, one of them's fairly big, at the fruit stand not long ago. I'll put in a picture so you can see, and they're really pretty. And after I'm done using them as decorations, I'm going to cut them open, and I don't know if I'll eat them right away or probably just freeze them to use to make something later. I don't know if I can really cut the little ones apart or not because they're so small, but still, I will enjoy that. So many beautiful pumpkins at all the fruit stands that I'm seeing, and I'm thinking, oh man, I just want to buy, I want to buy them all because they're so pretty. But then I'm thinking, oh, I could be, you know, cutting these up in the fall, and you can use the pumpkin to make pumpkin roll, all kinds of different stuff. I imagine you could dry the pumpkin and kind of reconstitute it later to use for something, like maybe, I don't know if you'd really use pumpkin in a soup. I mean, I'm sure you could, but you could do that with some of the big squash that they have for sale too. Those work really good for soup. And I think fall for me just always kind of signals a, I don't know, kind of like an ending to summer. That heat is dying off. There's not stuff in the garden anymore. And for me, I feel like I tend to be busier in the summer than I am maybe the fall. And so things just kind of start slowing down. I start feeling like things are just a little bit more restful, especially as the winter comes and it's cold and you can't do a lot necessarily. So then I definitely start feeling the, I have to check on Olive, make sure she ain't doing nothing bad. I definitely start feeling the kind of rest coming on, and especially as the time changes, as it starts to get darker a lot faster, I notice that I want to go to bed earlier and that I get tired kind of faster. And I think that's kind of how it's meant to be, you know, when the time changes and it gets dark earlier. I think that's just a time of rest, and especially thinking about it, what would you say? I don't know from what perspective, but you know, in the summer, we've got those longer months to put up more food and grow more and do more. And then we wind down, and then I think that's really the time to rest. So that way, when the spring and summer starts back up, we can preserve and grow food and do whatever it is that we're going to do all over again. But we get that nice rest time. I do really enjoy fall. It's such a beautiful time. I gotta say, summer might be my favorite, but that's just because I get cold. I've already been cold. And I'm like, oh man, it's not even winter. And I keep thinking, I gotta find me some fleece lined pants. If there's any women or girls out there who know some good fleece lined pants, drop a comment, because I may be investing in some of those, because I get cold so easy, even if I'm indoors. And it really stinks because it's not just like being cold, but it's like I get stiff, and it's like a cold that you just almost can't focus, and it's just very like uncomfortable. So I need to get me some fleece lined pants maybe. Another thing about fall, this will be Olive's first birthday. She was born on October 19th. I assume that maybe that's just an estimation of when she was born, because her story was that they found her at like 5 weeks, like a Good Samaritan, and she was about 5 weeks old. She was like almost dead, which is really sad. And they brought her in. I think the Samaritan kind of nursed her back to health enough to where she could stand to be in a shelter. And so I'm assuming they're just estimating her birthday. But they've got it estimated as October 19th. So that will be her birthday. Hard to believe that she will be a year old. She was 3 months when we got her. Hard to believe that we've had her since February. Time has really passed fast, as it usually does. And of course, as we go into fall, we're progressing ever closer. We're kind of like getting into that last stretch before the end of the year, and it makes me start thinking about setting resolutions already, which is so true. You don't need a new year to set resolutions, but it makes me start reflecting on this year a little bit, things I would want to do differently next year. Fall is just like a real time of rest and kind of thinking and planning for the future, I guess, at least for me. So you'll have to drop a comment and let me know if you feel like that too. Now, I actually wanted to film this video talking about fall a while back ago, but then I got sick and I couldn't, because I did not feel like walking around, because I felt really bad But now I'm kind of glad that I waited. Waited just long enough for a little bit more of the leaves to change, especially here at Mom and Dad's. They're really pretty. And I would like to do another video, maybe even 1 or 2 more, but I try to be careful about what I commit myself to here. Just showing the progression of the leaves changing, because sometimes they change real fast, sometimes it's slower, sometimes they really pop, sometimes they don't. Every year is different, but this seems like a year where they have changed fast, where they are really popping, and it would be neat just to see kind of how fast they change, because it really seems to happen overnight. So the day I'm filming this is October 9th, but give it probably 2 or 3 more weeks and it'll be even more colorful. So I guess now I will hush up my talking and show you some of these pretty leaves that are changing. Before I show the leaves, get a load of Mom's pumpkins. Look how big that one is. That's my hand for size. It's huge. That one's not as big, but still, aren't those beautiful? I wish me and Austin could grow pumpkins. I just don't know if I have a good enough space for that or not, but I might try for next year because those are beautiful. And they keep forever. Mom has one in the house right now that she's had for like a year or more. The blueberry bushes, you can just barely see that they're starting to turn there. You can see just the edges of stuff turning a little there. But where you really see it is where I'm about to pan out to this beautiful hillside. You can start to see it right up there. But now look up there where it's changing. And I'm going to get closer and get another shot. But that's where you can really see it, up on that hillside where everything's starting to change. Of course, you can see all this beautiful goldenrod blooming out. The bees and bugs just love it. You can see these leaves are changing. Just a little there. These pretty leaves are changing. But you can definitely see it. These are the beautiful flowers that our friends Donna and Michael got us for our birthday. I've got one just like it at home. They're blooming out real pretty. We need to get some pumpkins by them, make them even prettier. Back here though is where you can really start to see the change. See all those pretty yellows and golds and reds? Just slowly starting to change. And then you can see this pretty gold tree here. It's real pretty as well, and you can see right there, that's a squirrel's nest. I've never seen a squirrel build a nest in that tree before, but I watched it cut branches down with its little teeth and build that nest there. I think Olive likes this cooler weather too. Don't you, girl? Huh? Do you like the cooler weather? Olive chasing lizards. She never catches them though. Too fast for you, girl. Too fast for you, huh? Too fast. It's hard to believe she's that big. She was just a little thing when we got her from the shelter. You was just a little thing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, me walking around and looking at the pretty leaves. The leaves are so pretty here, and we get comments all the time when it gets this time of people wanting to see the leaves, and lots of people come here to see the leaves. So I thought it would be nice to show people what they're looking like so far and just walk around and talk and see what's going on outside here at Mom and Dad's. I do want to mention though, because we've got some comments recently on our channel and on Mom's channel. Me and Austin are very much doing well. We very much love each other, but I do work here, so I am here pretty much at least 5 days a week, if not 7, because I work here. My soap station is here where I make soap. I help my mom. When I film videos, I'm here very often. So I just want to mention that for a lot of people who have been like, why are you never at your house? I am at my house every day, but I'm also here because this is where I work. So comment below and let me know any kind of fall traditions that you are already doing, that you're looking forward to, anything about fall. As always, thank you for watching. God bless each and every one of you, and I will see you on the next video.